Now, I'm sure you guys are fully aware that when it comes to the Yu-Gi-Oh ban list, it always has a tendency to spice things up a bit, or it has had a tendency to ruin the game as we know it. Over the years, the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG ban list has always done a little bit of everything. Not only has it been able to spice up the format, but also put an end to an era as well. You look back on Teledad format. Once once Teledad format reached its peak, Konami had banned at least had to ban at least 5 to 7 cards in the deck and limit half the cards in the deck as well. Looking back at Dragon Ruler format, the Dragon Ruler format was what had reached its peak after the first ban list, but over time the deck started to dwindle down with each ban list that we received in 2014. Now, now the last ban list we had was actually a pretty decent one. But what about the OCG? Well, it appears that Konami and the OCG have officially released the July 1st, 2025 Forbidden and Limited list. Obviously, you guys know. Excuse me. Excuse me. Obviously, you guys are fully aware, and I stated this at the top of the video. It doesn't matter whether it's the OCG or the TCG, whether it's Duel Links, whether it's Master Duel. Konami has always had a tendency to spice up the format, and this time might not be any different because some of the cards that are on the list could very may well either ruin the game as we know it or make the game better. So without any further ado, we are going to talk about the cards that got banned, limited, semi-limited, and of course got taken off the list. Kicking these off with the cards that got taken off the list, we've got Cyberjar, Zodiac Trident, Speedroid Terratop, Rescue Ace Airlifter, Nightmare Throne, Fusion Destiny, and Big Welcome Labyrinth. All of these cards, with the exception of Zodiac Trident, actually went up from 2 to 3, with the exception of Trident, which went from 1 all the way up to 3. Now, Cyberjar, I feel like Cyberjar is okay because of the fact that you really don't see it get played all that much, unless if it was in a excuse me, unless if it was in some sort of like Exodia Turbo deck or something like that, or some sort of like 2025 revamped version of Empty Jar FTK. I don't know if there really is a 2025 revamped version of the deck, but I do know that back in the day, Empty Jar FTK was actually a very interesting strategy to say the very least. So Cyberjar to 3, I mean, I feel like it's okay. Hardly anybody plays it anymore. Excuse me. Unless if it was in some sort of like a FTK deck or something like that. But other than that, I mean, it's fine. Not much to say about it. Zodiac Trident, probably actually kind of a dumb idea. I feel like in my opinion, because Trident was the card that enabled so many FTKs when the deck was first introduced back in 2016, 2017. So back then, Dryden, again, we didn't know much about Dryden until the archetype was first introduced, and once we had an idea of what the deck could look like, excuse me, excuse me, people ended up starting to realize that Dryden would become a very powerful card, and it did for a very very long time, and then it got even more dangerous, if you will, once once the Tri Brigade archetype was first introduced. I think in, I want to say it was either Circuit Break or Flames of Destruction. It was one or the other. It's been such a long time, and I believe I talked about those about the cards in both those sets on the channel. So if you guys, so if I did, and you guys have not checked out those videos, I recommend you guys check them out. Again, I don't know if I did or not, but Dryden, kind of a dumb move. I feel like I feel like just because Dryden, again is able, has been known to enable multiple FTKs, and it can also rank climb up into Zeus, especially if Dryden has a lot of materials on it. Zeus would become a very very deadly card to deal with in this format. Speedroar Terratop, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. I mean, Terratop is basically a Cyber Dragon with a search. It can help you. It can help search out Take Tomborg and then just combo off from there. You can make a few plays if Terratop is the only card in your hand, and you search Take Tomborg off of the off of the Terratop, then you're pretty much able to go into a level 6. I think it's level, or sorry, a level 5 synchro, or you're able to link it off into a potential link 2, and that right there would just give you your full combo. So if you have Terratop in hand, everyone knows that that's basically full combo. If you have if you have Take Tomborg in hand, it essentially becomes a garden, essentially, and it's not that good on its own. If Take Tomborg is in the deck and Terratop is in your hand, that's basically your full combo, which is crazy. Rescue Ace Airlifter, I mean, it's fine. I feel like it should. I feel like Airlifter should have went down to 1. I feel like just because of the fact that Airlifter, with the amount of plays that you're able to make with this card, I feel like it could just ensure, especially if it's at 3, it can basically just ensure that your plays would be able to go through, and your opponent wouldn't be able to respond whatsoever. But if Airlifter were to be at 1, it gives the opponent a chance to potentially launch a counter strike against Rescue Ace. So the only way that Rescue Ace could ever get ruined is obviously with the barriers, with cards like the barrier statues, cards like Macrocosmos, maybe even Skill Drain is definitely another one that comes into mind. Soul Drain is also another one. Mind Drain could be another really cool floodgate to use. So Nightmare Throne. Nightmare Throne to 3, I feel like it's fine. I mean, it's Yubel. Nowadays, Yubel doesn't really get played all that much anymore, especially since Phantom of Yubel got limited to 1, if I remember correctly, and then I think and then I think Spirit of Yubel got limited to 2 with the last ban list. So I mean, Nightmare Throne to 3 is fine. in my opinion. Fusion Destiny, I mean, it literally is a one card DPE. I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with a one card DPE. But to be fair, DPE can pull off a lot of crazy bullshit. To be fair, so, but it is what it is. And then big welcome Labyrinth. Obviously, that would be known as the SEMO special. Shout outs to SEMO and his Master Duel Masochist series. Um, I feel like with big welcome, I feel like it's fine to put it at 3, but at the same time, being able to go into a potential board, being able to go into a board with the big welcome that basically ensures that your opponent doesn't get to do anything is pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy and not the best, And I will be right back, guys. Something just came up. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'll take care of some business, and I'll get back to this. I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, I am back. Sorry about that. I had to take care of some health business. Anyway, of some health business. Anyway, as I was now at, where was I? Oh, right. Big welcome. I feel like with big welcome, I feel like putting it at 3 may be a bad idea. I think just because of the fact that it can just automatically summon out a big guy and then it basically forces your opponent to move around, excuse me, whatever back row that you may set. So I feel like big welcome at 3, not the best idea, but it is what it is. The cards that got semi-limited are Sprite Jet and Mask Change 2. Sprite Jet, I'm not surprised, just because of the fact that Jet is so broken with the fact that Jet plus, I think, Sprite Red, I think, and that's basically full. That basically is your full combo right there. So it's pretty nasty. Mass Change 2 is actually kind of funny because because this card, you can take any level 4 dark monster and go into a Dark Law right off the bat. So Mass Change 2 to 2, I feel like it's fine. You really don't see it get played all that much anymore. I know that obviously you could tell clearly in the OCG it's been being played a lot, but still, it is what it is. The cards that got limited to 1, meaning you can only use 1 copy, are Anti-Spell Fragrance, Wandering Griffin Rider, and Nightmare Goblin. Anti-Spell, it's fine. Obviously there are ways to out it, so it really doesn't make that much of a difference anymore. Wandering Griffin is just super nasty. I mean, it essentially is a cyber dragon, so you really can't go wrong with that. And it can just enable so many crazy plays with the Fateful Adventure decks. It's just crazy. And then Nightmare Goblin, I feel like is a bad move on their end, just because of the fact that Nightmare Goblin can be used in just about any deck in the format, and your opponent won't have any responses to it. Especially given the fact that, hang on, guys. There we go. Especially given the fact that Goblin can essentially just make your opponent like scoop. It's like once they see Nightmare Goblin, it's done. It's just done. And it's the same thing with Nightmare Mermaid. I think Mermaid can summon a monster from the grave, if I remember correctly. It's either that or Goblin. It's one or the other. But yeah, not a good move. Not a good move. And then the cards that got banned, meaning you can't use them anymore, are Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, and number 67, Paradise Smasher. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Obviously, here in the TCG, Appaloosa is banned, and then I think number 67 is actually legal at 3 copies. So, I, plus with number 67, you really don't see it get played all that much in the TCG. So I really don't understand why Konami in the OCG would ban number 67. In fact, I'm gonna look up its effect on Master Duel, because I don't remember exactly what it does. So I've got Master Duel loaded up on my second phone, which is my iPhone here. So give me a second as I'm looking to, let's see, we'll go to deck, pick a random one, and then we'll go number 67. Okay, Paradise Smasher, rank 5, light Fairy Exceeds, 2100 attack and defense, and of course 2 or more level 5 monsters. Once per turn during your main phase 1, you can detach 2 materials from this card. Each player rolls a 6-sided die twice. The player with the highest total, with the higher total, cannot activate monster effects or declare an attack until the end of the next turn. Once per turn, if either player rolls a 6-sided die or dice while this card has material, you can treat one of the results as 7. Okay. Okay, so I think I get it now. It basically makes it so your opponent can't really they can't really do anything. Um, they really can't do anything. So if your opponent were, so let's say for example you rolled a 5 and your opponent rolls a 3. That means, hypothetically speaking, you can use Paradise Smasher's effect to make their result 7, and their effects wouldn't be able to activate. So this is actually kind of a strange ban list. I feel like just because Konami in the OCG, they didn't hit all the major decks that are in the format. Um, but at the same time, feel like um I feel like if there was one card that I feel like should have came back off the list, I feel like it should have been number 95, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. I feel like just because of the fact that Dragon decks aren't played that much anymore. I know Dragon Maid is still being played, but not that much anymore. Dragon Rulers are back in the format. Blue Eyes is back in the format. So hypothetically speaking, I guess technically number 95 wouldn't, shouldn't come off the ban list. But it would be really interesting to see that card break the current format where Kashtira, Tier Limit, Raziel, and Rescue Ace are still in the format, and now with some of the other newer decks that we have, maybe number 95 could potentially break the meta, but we'll see. We will have to wait and see. I will say though, I think looking at the format, this ban list, I don't know. I think this ban list is kind of weird. But if we're looking at the TCG, at the TCG ban list, honestly, in my honest opinion, I feel like in my opinion, because the last ban list that we got for the TCG was back in April, so it was not that long ago. And so cards like Nightmare Griffin, Link Decoder, Abyss Dweller, Bahamut Shark, all got banned. Bestial Druid Worm, Dimension Shifter, Masterpiece, the True Drago Slaying King, Mathmech Circular, Ryziel Detonator, Bonfire, Brilliant Fusion, Crossout Designator, and Triple Tactics Talent all got limited to one. Black Dragon, Collapse Serpent, Exit Ryziel, Ice Ryziel, Malice Dormouse, Malice White Rabbit, Morphine Jar, Snake Eye Ash, Snake Eye Poplar, Sword Ryziel, Unchained Soul of Shavara, White Dragon Wyver Burster, and Malice in Underground all got semi-limited, meaning you can only use 2. And then Cyberjar, Danger Jackalope, Danger Tsuchinoko, Ava, and Performapal Monkey Board all got taken off the ban list. So, in my opinion, looking at the cards that got banned, one card that stands out the most I could see coming off the ban list, and this is probably by far the one card that might get me some heat, but I feel like it should be, if I can find it, Samord, Bird of Sovereignty, and I feel like, in my opinion, where is it? Potentially, and I'm not saying that it's actually going to happen, but potentially I could see Premature Burial coming off the ban list. The reason being is because Samorg is mainly used in wind based decks, like in Harpy and potentially Flu on the Rees. But with Flu, you don't see it get played all that much. Only time you see it is on Master Duel. So Samorg, I feel like is an okay card to bring back. And then Premat, Premat's a really old card. So the only way that it could become a good card is if it had a once per turn clause on it, where you can only use this card once per turn, and that's it. Premat doesn't have a once per turn clause, so it's possible that Premat could potentially get an errata, but it's doubtful. But only time will tell. And on that note, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more ban list reveals in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.